What's up?
It's Kendall
And John.
your friendly certified cheese professionals reporting from Austin, Texas.
We are so excited to be with you today for Cheese of the Month Club. Dun, 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 dun.
It's January of 2022, y'all.
We made it, y'all.
Yeah.
We made it.
Okay, so may our first cheese tasting be fortuitous and, I don't know, happiness of things to come for all of us in 2022. We'll just leave that where it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so this month our theme was, we always do taste of place, one of a kind, or...
Meet the maker. And
So-
that's what we're doing this time. And so our New Year's resolution is to eat more cheese. And so we are so thrilled to have these amazing cheeses in front of us today from, well, two producers, all operating under one company umbrella. And so we are really thrilled to showcase what we do with Meet the Maker is ideally give you a glimpse in, oh, she laughed. She's like, oh, where's my microphone? What we do with Meet the Maker is we want to give you a glimpse into the sort of the ideals or the inner workings of a single producer pretty much every time we do Meet the Maker, but today's a little bit special.
And oftentimes when you do Meet the Maker, most makers specialize in one type of milk. So especially if they're farmstead, they have just goats or just cows. Today you're gonna get to try a goat milk cheese, a cow milk cheese, and a blend of both. So we are going to Wisconsin with the LaClare family Creamery. And LaClare gets its name from Larry and Clara Hedrich. So this was a couple who in the 70s decided to move and go for hobby farm life. Their kids, their 5 children, often recall, even when they were traveling in Europe and around the United States, they would often visit goat milk operations and farms. And so it's only natural that they decided to, they didn't say retire, but just change lifestyles and go purchase this hobby farm. They purchased it with a pair of peacocks, a dozen chickens, and a couple goats. And little did they know that those couple goats would turn into one of the largest goat milk artisan operations here in the United States.
Yeah, and Larry and Clara, they were some of the most amazing people, down to earth, super humble, but they're creating a mini cheese empire. And, when I first met them, it was with their daughter, Katie, who was the main cheesemaker at the time. And they are just an outstanding family doing some incredible things.
Not only that, they're making some delicious cheese that's award-winning. So y'all, U.S. Champion Cheese Contest, the World Championship Cheese Contest, they all say it a little bit differently. American Cheese Society annual competition, and Good Food Awards, and Sophie winners. Not to mention, like, they've won a blue ribbon for their milk quality at the Wisconsin Dairy Fair. So just these are some pretty award-winning cheeses, and good award-winning cheese often starts with good milk, which makes sense in that they've also been awarded for the quality of their milk.
So we have 3 cheeses from LaClare Farm. We've been partnering with them for a very long time and distributing their cheeses throughout Austin and Texas. And so we have 3 from them today, and then we have another from Saxon Creamery. And the reason why we have Saxon Creamery on the plate today is because back in 2018, LaClare Farm, Saxon Creamery, and a Pennsylvania-based company decided to form an umbrella company called Mosaic Meadows, which allows them to access new markets, share knowledge, cheese-making goals, and basically become a more effective player in the cheese market. And we'll talk a few minutes about Saxon later in the tasting.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier the word farmstead. So if you remember, farmstead creamery means they have their own animals on their farm, they milk them on the farm, and they make the cheese right there from it. So while they have been a farmstead operation, now they have grown to supporting many of the local goat milk dairy operations in their backyard. So they still are sourcing locally. They still have some of their own goats. They have experimented with growing larger and then minimizing and trying to find that sweet spot to fulfill demand, be operational, be sustainable, but also be an enjoyment lifestyle. And I got to give a shout out to my buddy Larry, who is on the board of the American Cheese Society. John is past president of the American Cheese Society, but how that relates to me, because clearly it's about me, is I'm on the board of the American Cheese Education Foundation, and Larry serves on that as ACS liaison. So we have the pleasure of working together to help hopefully better our community and or address problems that need addressing. So with that, we always say when you're doing a tasting, oftentimes you want to go in strength of flavor profile, which many times means in age. So
Typically, yeah.
First up, you'll want to start with your fresh chev. Chev, remember, just means little goat. A fresh chev, some people don't like chev, that it's gotten like a bad reputation because they think it tastes, I don't know, barnyardy or animal-y. It should always taste of the animal, but it should taste like it came from a clean milk source as well. So they pride themselves on that. In fact, their mission, I'm gonna mess it up, but is basically to keep fighting for and shooting for the best standards of dairy, goat dairy product production possible. Meaning we like to say there's no best, there's only better, and they're gonna every day shoot for better standards. So one of those is in that supreme quality milk. So a fresh chev is always lemony, bright, acidic, minerally. It's a perfect bite to get your palate going. And this one is seasoned with
fig and honey. A classic combination with cheese is a little bit of these beautiful dried figs sprinkled with a little honey. And so what they've done, they've taken the effort out for you. You just get to open the package and enjoy it. And what I like about that big, deep, dark flavor of the fig comes through, and you get a hint of sweetness from the honey, which isn't cloying. It's just really delicate and really
cloying or like cloyingly
cloying.
sweet. Yeah.
Cloying. What did I say?
I don't know. We're like barely starting January.
Did I say clawing?
Like clawing.
Clawing.
Is it cloyingly sweet?
Cloyingly.
I don't know
I
either.
don't know. It's one of those two. It's one of those two. We'll never know. We'll just never know.
I love this like on breakfast toast, a breakfast bagel. You can also do it for a dessert course. But yeah, it's not overly sweet.
No.
And in fact, with the fig, it has a little earthiness.
More
you can even pair it with
earthiness.
fresh figs and some other fruit would be a great way to go, or with some granola and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just a real showstopper. We kind of love it. And they their base chev is very creamy and rich. And so you get with a hint of acidity. And then, so when they layer in these flavors, you're just adding a real fun experience for you. And this was the one we thought would be the best for January. Wherever you are in the country, this we thought was going to be the best seasonally.
All right, so let's go with number 2. We're gonna go over to Saxon Creamery and let's do Big Ed's Gouda.
Big Ed's Gouda.
So Big John, Big Ed. Big Ed's Gouda.
They get their cow's milk and make Gouda style. So Gouda style, Saxon Creamery is inspired by European style cheeses. So Alpine styles, Goudas. They're Wisconsin based. Both LaClare Farms and Saxon Creamery actually started making cheese right around the very same time. So they're kind of growing together. And even we're working out of the same dairy before LaClare Farms built their own creamery years ago. And so Gouda styles tend to present on your palate a little sweeter than other styles of cheese. It's not that there's sweetness in the cheese, it's just that it's less acidic, so that sweet flavor profile of the cheese comes forward a little bit more. And with Big Ed's, you're gonna expect to get some caramelized notes on your palate, maybe a hint of toffee, good cream, good balance. This cheese has won a top 20 in the world at various competitions. So it's a real showstopper. The rind, it's got more like a paraffin wax. It is edible. You can choose to eat it. You can choose not to eat it. That is up to you for sure.
Okay, I kept looking at my notes like, where are we going next? All right, so from here, I would say...
What are you thinking?
Well, Evelyn is aged, let me make sure I get it right, aged a minimum of 5 months, and the cave-aged Chandoka is aged a minimum of 8. But it's just great to look at them because you can tell in the batches that we received that I'm not sure this one isn't aged longer.
This, all the visual cues, this very dark, deep caramel coloration. You see some of this, these white dots. This is where calcium has come together. This gives all the indications that this is an aged wheel, extra aged Evelyn. So oftentimes we can get Evelyn that's really soft, semi-soft to firm. This is presenting as a firm to hard cheese.
So I'm gonna say, let's go to the
cave-aged Chandoka.
Okay, cave-aged Chandoka. This is made in the style of a cloth-bound New Zealand cheddar. So what does cloth-bound mean? It means it's actually bound in cloth, often wiped down in lard or in olive oil or something, and that allows for the cheese to breathe and oxygen to get in and out, and also at the same time to protect the cheese, sort of forming an artificial rind, if you will, to protect the inner paste. It also results in sometimes like this earthy flavor note. It can be a little mustardy, sometimes a little sweetness. It depends on it. This one is a mixture of 70% cow and 30% goat. So you're gonna get the grassiness from that and buttery from that cow's milk, and then you still get a little bit of that tangy acidity from that goat's milk. A huge award winner, one of our favorites.
It's so cool. KVH Shandoka came about as a partnership with Standard Market many years ago, and they were just aging a handful of wheels. And the success of this cheese has just taken off, and we love it. Our shop loves it. Our customers love it. So we wanted to showcase it for y'all here in this setting.
This one, if you're pairing it with something, I'd love to pair this with some mustard. So some different hearty mustards, maybe a little bit of salami, but take this more, try to bring out those earthy notes in that
earthy
cheddar.
umami notes for sure.
Okay.
And then the last cheese is just a gorgeous beauty. So Evelyn,
if you could have an affair with me on cheese, it might be with Evelyn.
I don't think that would never be a thing. That's not a thing. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
You're going in tangents and we're not, we don't need to. But
our point is we really like Evelyn.
We love this cheese. And so what's really amazing about this cheese is that if you look maybe at your rind piece, you'll see some letters and indentations possibly. The outside of this, and the outside has this beautiful band. When they created this cheese, they kind of created a piece of art. And so like these labels are like part of the cheese. You can't actually take them off. They're like acting as the rind. And so it is this beautiful, elegant cheese. And again, you get it in multiple different ages. So this piece that we have in front of us is gonna be a little bit more intense. It's gonna have a bit more acidity to it, but it's gonna come across more like maybe a toffee flavor profile. Maybe like a hint of soy sauce, like that real umami notes coming through.
Yeah, not the salt from it, the umami
part of it.
And this is modeled after a Gouda, or a Howda, y'all, we know, but just depends on who's listening. This is modeled after a Gouda, but it's really an American original. So an American original is a classification, categorization of the American Cheese Society. That means that they have developed their own recipe, and it's a limited few who get to apply in that category. You
have to have 3 unique things that make your cheese one of a kind. Whether that's a part of the make process, the aging process, or what have you.
So definitely you're going to look for rich, nutty caramel notes in this one. And that's going to be kind of like your cheese candy to eat on.
It's going to be really fun. And so this is...
If you do have some sort of caramel sauce, like a dulce de leche, or dulce de leche is just a caramel sauce from cow's milk. Cajeta is a caramel sauce made from goat's milk. That would be fun to drizzle with this.
Yeah, that would be magnificent.
Yeah.
And so that's a little focus on Mosaic Meadows, right? Mosaic Meadows has 3 companies. We were unable to get anything from the Pennsylvania company, but we get to showcase the goat's milk and the cow's milk from these 2 amazing creameries.
And then what it does when you have a blend of both.
Yeah. And so we're so thankful to have you all with us on this journey.
Here we go, January. Here we go, 2022 Cheese Club.
Woo! We are so pumped. We are thrilled to be with you, and we can't wait to see you next month.
All right. See you guys, gals, everybody else. We'll see you later.
Bye, y'all.